Hi guys, it's Mrs. Peterson, that lady who teaches art, and today we are going to talk about how you are going to do your diorama that's going to have the background, the middle ground, the foreground, and of course the horizon line. So here's the picture that I'm going to be working from to create my diorama. I'm going to have my background with the blue sky, and then it gets grayer down here closer to the horizon line, and a little bit of these rocky mountains right there. And then in my middle ground, I'm going to put the trees and the ocean. And then in my foreground, I'm going to have the sand with the shadow from the trees. And then I'll be able to tell that my horizon line is right here where the sky meets the ground. So I'm going to show you what that looks like in just a second. Okay, so you're going to start with just a regular shoebox, and you definitely want one with a lid, because when you make your diorama, it's going to end up where you put the lid like that. You're going to paint your background on the bottom of the shoebox, and I'll do that now. And then you're going to make some pop-ups for your middle, and then for your foreground, you're going to do that down here on the bottom. Okay, so I will show you some of those steps. So the first thing you're going to do, guys, is you are going to paint the background of your piece. So I have the sky, and I'm copying the colors the best I can from my reference photo, and I had a little mountain range off to the side here. Now it's really important that you don't just paint the bottom of the shoebox, or what we're going to call the back. You also need to paint the top. So I just continued that dark blue color right up to the top. I continued the blue colors in the gradation that they were, from lightest to darkest going up on the side. And then on this side, I did the sky, and I also brought that mountain range around. This is going to help our piece have that three-dimensional effect that we want with this diorama, to make it have that space going backwards. Okay, guys, next you're going to paint the foreground, and the foreground is going to start inside your box and be kind of like the bottom when I set this up. And then you're also going to paint the inside of your lid and the outside of three sides of your lid. So the back doesn't need to be painted, but the front side, or sorry, the side, the front, the other side, but then the back doesn't need to be, because when I put this together, it's going to sit like that. So then all of my sand is right there. Okay, the next step after I have my background and my foreground is I'm going to do my middle ground. So I'm going to take a strong piece of paper, and I'm going to start by folding about an inch up. And for me, an inch is about to my thumb joint right there. And then I'm going to just fold that all the way across the paper, because that's where it's going to glue so that this stands up. And then I painted what was in the middle. I had some waves crashing in here, and then I have my background bushes and some palm trees. I'm going to cut this out with scissors, and then I'll show you how you can attach that inside your diorama. Remember, when you're cutting, don't cut off the flap at the bottom. And you want to always have your scissors pointed straight out in front of you with your thumb up. You're going to twist your paper, and you don't even have to like go all the way along the line. I'm going to twist my paper so that it's easy for me to cut, but I keep my thumb straight up and straight out in front of me as I'm cutting. Keep my scissors out, and I can cut those pieces off. Okay, and then when you have the outside edge done, I think one of the coolest parts is going to be to get those little pieces that are in between things, like in between my trees here. So if you've never cut this way, what I like to do is fold a little bit and just put a snip in there, and I can definitely help you with this. But this reminds me a lot of when some of you had to do your nose hands this way. And you're just going to start a little hole right in there, and then I can cut out. Remember, I'm always keeping my scissors pointed straight out in front of me. My thumb is up, and I can cut out a little hole, and then I'll be able to see my background through that little hole right there. I'm going to do the same thing with this piece right here. I'm going to bend it, and I'm going to start a hole by carefully cutting through the white like that, and then it gives my scissors a place to go in and just get to the edge, and then I can start cutting out that shape that's the white background part that we want to be able to see through. Scissors are always out in front of me, and my thumb is always on the top. carefully. And then when you get that all cut out in front of you, then you'll have your piece ready to go. It'll stand up in your diorama. Okay guys, then the last thing you're going to do is put in your middle ground. And so mine is just folded right here. We can use rubber cement so that that attaches there. And then that will be your last step. When you present these, you are going to have to point out to your classmates where your background is. Mine is back here. I've got the sky and the mountains. You're gonna have to point out where your horizon line is, right along there where the sky meets the ground. And then you're gonna point out your middle ground. Mine is this wave and these trees. And then your foreground, mine is the sandy beach right here. All right, guys, I can't wait to see what you create.